Welcome to the Beyond the Vines podcast, where I interview local business owners in Sonoma County to highlight small business and grow our community. I'm your host, Amy Ehlers, a mom, realtor, and Sonoma County native, and I'm excited to connect you to some amazing people in this beautiful area that we call home. Welcome back to the Beyond the Vines podcast. Thank you again for listening. I'm really excited about this episode. I am so excited to learn more about this amazing program that we have here in Sonoma County. I think it was social media that I discovered this. I don't know really how I came across you, but I'm excited for you to kind of tell our audience a little bit more. I'm here today with Elana Nelson. She is with Sonoma Family Meal and Sabor Food Truck. I had to practice the name before we got started. And I'm just so excited to kind of share with the community more because this just sounds so intriguing to me. So with that, welcome, Elana.
Thank you.
I'm so glad you're here.
Happy to be on. Yeah, I appreciate you choosing us for the podcast. And I also was curious how you found us. So
I really think it was social media.
That's great. I'm glad it's working.
Yeah.
Also, it could be SEO. I don't know if you Googled us, but we've been investing in SEO. So
that's
maybe
good
that's
to know.
working.
Well, that's a good point. Also, I drive past the food truck all the time. So that might be part of it too. Like, you know, when you drive past and then you see it on Instagram and you're like, oh, I want to know more. I want to say someone I know posted because the food truck's newer. So I think that's maybe how I came across it. So that's great. Yeah, I'm going to have to remember who that was so we can give them a shout out.
Yes.
So can you tell us a little bit more about yourself first before we get started?
Yeah, that's a big question.
Loaded question.
I actually grew up in Sonoma County,
Great.
And then I lived away for several years. Lived in Santa Barbara, went to school there,
Great.
and then a few years afterwards, and then I went to travel around the world for a while. Spent 7 months traveling around Southeast Asia and doing yoga teacher training.
Wow.
And then the pandemic struck, and I unexpectedly had to come back home when I was in India. So moved back in with my family and during the pandemic and just started kind of studying business and marketing and working with a business coach to launch my own yoga business online, which that kind of simmered down because the pandemic ended. Lockdowns ended, and we started getting back to normal life, and unemployment ended. Needed to go get a real job again, a full-time job. And started working, jumped back into the nonprofit industry. So I was working in the nonprofit sector when I was living in Santa Barbara and had always worked on kind of like some social justice issues throughout high school and college. And then jumped back into it as a development coordinator when the pandemic ended. And so ever since then, I've been in the food security sector and been just really enjoying Sonoma County again, kind of just like, you know, getting to re-experiencing as an adult, like after moving back after college,
totally different.
Has been like a newfound appreciation. So yeah, Sonoma County is such an amazing place, and it's wonderful to be able to work in the nonprofit sector here and give back to the community that I grew up in and help to hopefully make it a better place and uplift the whole community. So yeah, and then that's when I just, I was at another food security nonprofit, and then I moved over to Sonoma Family Meal about 3 years ago now. Yeah. So, and what really inspired me about Sonoma Family Meal is it's more unique compared to like a traditional nonprofit because it has like a more innovative approach with the social enterprise aspect. So that's what really kind of inspired me, because I was like, I could use kind of my business and marketing studies that I did during the pandemic for this organization as well, because they were looking for a social enterprise and community engagement manager.
Wow, that's amazing. Yeah. What a, like, I'm trying to imagine like traveling and then suddenly being on lockdown in your family home. Like that's quite extreme.
But it was good. I actually really enjoyed it because I tend to be a busybody and keep myself super active. So it was like finally the feeling of not having an obligation to like do all these things outside of the home and see all the people. It's just like, oh, I could just like focus on myself and like
that's amazing.
My hobbies and learn and, you know, dive deep into things like that. So it was actually really nice. And
I love that you were able to flip it like that. That's beautiful.
Yeah.
Well, so for anyone who may not be familiar, what is Sonoma Family Meal?
Great question. So I like to describe us as a nonprofit employment social enterprise because we are a nonprofit 501c3, but at the same time, we have this other kind of component to the work that we do. So I kind of see it as like almost this tree. If you can imagine, there's programs on one side and services on the other. So the social enterprise aspect is social enterprise essentially means like a business with social benefit, right? You can think of it in the nonprofit sense as like earned income for some nonprofits, for example, museums or places that have, a paid service that generates revenue for the programs. So ours also, the employment piece, we also employ students and people through our organization. Yeah. So the businesses that we have generate revenue to support our free programs, and then they also create job opportunities and hands-on work experience for students that go through our culinary job training program.
Wow.
So the free programs are tuition-free culinary training and food security meals. And we started off with the food security in 2017. So
how unique, like to have it like operate in that way.
Yeah, it's definitely a more like sustainable approach rather than working, just solely relying on just individual donations and people's generosity can fluctuate obviously too with like the social environment and the political environment and everything going on in the world. So
Wow, that's amazing. So how did Sonoma Family Meal first come to life? Like what was the inspiration behind it?
Great question. So it's actually a pretty young nonprofit.
Okay.
It was born in 2017 as kind of like a grassroots effort, actually initiated by local food writer Heather Irwin. She writes for the Press Democrat, if you know Bite Club Eats. So she started it. She basically brought together like all of her chef and restaurant connections as a food writer to come together, and all these people volunteered to create chef-made prepared meals, family-style meals for people that were displaced by the wildfires, the Tubbs Fire in 2017, and all the frontline workers and just anyone who was in need at that time during the fires. So
I remember that.
Yeah,
I forgot about that.
A lot of people here were, personally affected and might have even received some of our meals.
Yeah.
So that's how it started, and then it has evolved so much since then. In just these, 8 years, during the pandemic, the wildfires settled down. And then during the pandemic, they actually contracted with local restaurants to keep the restaurants getting paid, keeping them in business during the lockdowns.
Brilliant.
So we actually paid restaurants at that time to create these food security meals for people in the community. And then the pandemic settled down and, thank goodness we don't have as many disasters anymore. So what do we do with ourselves now? There's already these other wonderful nonprofit organizations in the community doing food security. So what's like another niche that we could, do and we could help? And that at the time was at around the same time that our executive director was moving back from New York, and she was super inspired to create a culinary job training program.
That's incredible.
I think she was inspired by this national organization called Catalyst Kitchens that have employment social enterprise specifically for culinary training all across the country. And they all have different kinds of social enterprise, like cafes or catering or food trucks, or some people have a housing they all are slightly different, but she was planning to already start an organization like that anyways, and she found Sonoma Family Meal, and I was like, oh, this is the perfect marrying to be able to start this culinary training program and kind of expand on that mission. And then the students who are going through the training program can help to create those food security meals. So it's this like regenerative cycle.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
That's incredible. Oh my gosh.
It's very cool.
Wow. So at its core, what is the mission? It sounds like there's two pieces to the mission.
Yeah, so many things that we do. I know, right? How is it like cohesive? How does it come together? Our mission has definitely evolved over the years too as the evolution of the organization. But the way that I see it is we nourish the community and create opportunity, and we really work to strengthen the local food economy, the local food ecosystem all around. So like local food, like our little tagline on our logo is local food, local jobs. I think it is local resilience.
Love that.
Yeah. So really about just strengthening the whole ecosystem. Also, for example, during the pandemic, we worked with a lot of local farms to like upcycle and rescue ingredients.
Great.
So that was like also a big part of it. So again, just all of these different ways of kind of strengthening the whole local food ecosystem.
Wow, so many pieces. But
our mission is still kind of like evolving.
That's incredible though. Well, I think I actually wrote with my handy pen, nourish, and underlined it when you said that because I love that.
Yeah,
that's amazing.
Nourishing the community.
Yeah.
Multiple ways. And also one of the ways that I've like come to kind of understand our mission, especially also with the, we just recently acquired another nonprofit out in Sonoma Valley.
Oh, wow.
And so that organization primarily did food security. But we are adding in that, culinary training component as a more sustainable part of the development plan and the development strategy. And so the way that I see the two really kind of marrying together is that, we are here to meet the immediate need and provide immediate relief for people that are experiencing food insecurity, but we're also here to do something deeper, right? Create upstream programs, workforce development, and kind of help address food security at the root.
Yep.
And get deeper. Because when you create economic empowerment and opportunities and pathways for employment for people, that's going to respond to food insecurity in a different way.
Totally. More like a long-term plan for
exactly.
it. Yeah.
Long-term and
wow.
sustainable.
I love that. That's amazing. Who are the people you're serving and how do you reach them?
Great question. So out in Sonoma at Unity Kitchen, it's called, we serve many people who are experiencing houselessness, but really anyone that is in need can come by to the kitchen. We do daily hot meals, breakfast and lunch out of there. And also we have a big pantry program that people can take home, shelf-stable items and fresh produce. And we also have a homebound delivery program out of there. It's kind of on hold right now. We're just kind of maintaining the clients that we currently have, but eventually, hopefully, we're hoping to grow
Expand
that again
it.
once we start, get everything a little bit more refined and everything. And so if that piece also serves people that are kind of isolated, right? Because one of the things that we don't that a lot of people don't realize with food insecurity is it's not just that you don't have the finances for food. It can also be isolation or accessibility to food if you live in a food desert or you can't leave your house or you don't have family and friends or community to help bring you food. So there's a lot of different things that go into food insecurity. And so that's kind of mainly who we're serving out of the Sonoma kitchen. We also serve a lot of elderly. And then out of our Petaluma kitchen and I would say for the culinary training piece, there's also all kinds of different people that we serve.
Yeah.
So we have a senior cooking class series, usually once a year. We also just launched a teen culinary training program.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah.
Last year in partnership with Santa Rosa Violence Prevention Program or Violence Prevention Partnership. And that is justice impacted youth in the Roseland district. We also are in the middle of a teen program right now in Sonoma with the Boys and Girls Club of Sonoma and Teen Services. And how our culinary training program started off was for adults in Petaluma, primarily coming through the Petaluma Family Resource Center at McDowell.
Wow, yeah.
And many of those people were people that some immigrants, some asylum seekers, some, all various ages really, but many people who had language barriers and who just were, in the beginning, it's transformed a lot. We've served houseless people, we've served people justice impacted and also immigrants and also just people that, are here and looking for a change in job or change in their life or, a way to harness their passion for cooking.
What an incredible program. I'm thinking too about the teens that you're serving. Like, what a leg up in life that's going to give them. That's amazing.
Yeah, just exposing them to different culinary careers. It's kind of different for them because, for the adults, we're mainly focused also on getting them jobs afterwards. I was going to ask
you that. Okay.
Yeah, we have that's part of the program is finding placements, helping them prepare for interviews, resume building, work readiness skills. Wow. And then with the teens, it's kind of more about exposing them to different careers that then pathways, especially the justice impacted youth, like people, exposing them to just other, things that they can look forward to.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Pathways, yeah.
Wow. So your title is Director of Development and Social Enterprise. What does your day-to-day look like? Those are kind of different.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. It's a wild ride. It's like changed so much also since I started. When I first started, I was actually hired to kind of manage and grow the social enterprise operations, which were, at the time, we were doing a meal subscription service, which I'm sure some of your listeners might remember or miss, because that was a very beloved program that we had to let go of. But, sometimes you just have to choose what's like kind of the most sustainable and efficient for the organization for as a business.
Definitely.
But I was working on that and also growing our catering business, which is really interesting because I don't actually have a culinary background myself. I love food. That's why I'm here. But I don't have a culinary background. I didn't have a background in hospitality or catering. But I did have that business kind of background and the nonprofit development background and just a big passion and the interest and I'm just kind of, the Jane of all trades. Like multifaceted. So it's like, throw me anywhere and like, I'll figure it out. But I think that's mainly why I was like, okay, Elana will figure this out, whatever we give her. But yeah, I kind of basically built the catering business from scratch.
That's incredible.
Yeah, we were already doing some catering, and then I started like kind of building some more systems and efficiencies around it so we could really grow it. And I'm so happy to say that now I actually have a catering and events coordinator that's working with me to actually focus on that so I can kind of go back over to like the fundraising and development. But yeah, just managing those things. We also do monthly cooking classes that I also was working on. So if there's any chefs out there listening that are interested in teaching a cooking class at Sonoma Family Meal, we're always looking for chefs to do that because that's for the public. And that's just a great way to come in and see our kitchen in Petaluma every month.
Great.
It's a more accessible way to come see the work that we do and hear about it and get yourself in the kitchen. And we also can do private cooking classes for groups.
Cool. Yeah.
So I was kind of mainly hired to just like manage all of those things. And then now it more looks like, higher level overseeing those operations as well as so kind of more marketing communications and all of the traditional donor stewardship and fundraising things like that now.
That's a lot on your plate.
Yeah, luckily now that I have help, it's a little bit, it's more smooth.
That is quite a
But
task.
it is a lot of fun. I love having like a different, having a different kind of task and challenge each day.
Yeah.
And especially in the beginning when I was managing those systems and I was like, I don't have the right background for this. And I was like, wow, I'm learning so much, and that I love learning. So it was a lot of fun. And having to put my organizational and processes oriented brain to work and like create all these organizational structures and systems to really help improve the efficiency of all of these businesses, because our organization is super ambitious, and it always
sounds
has
like
been.
it. Yes,
I think it's something that just natural to the organization, coming out of being an organization that it was born out of a disaster response. We're basically a disaster relief organization in the beginning, so it's like we had to quickly move, quickly take action, quickly pivot. And our executive director is awesome too. She has such an innovative, growth oriented mindset and is just not afraid to go for things, try things. It's kind of more of like a business mindset, which I think it would be beneficial for more nonprofits to have that. And so, it's like, we're not afraid to just try things and see what works and pivot when we need to. And it's a lot of fun.
That's incredible.
And I think it helps us all thrive in our job and our work.
Well, and I feel like you do in this area, there have been so many challenges kind of thrown our way over the last decade, really. But and so to be able to pivot like that and serve the needs at that moment, you do have to be able to change.
Yeah, thank you for saying that, because so many nonprofits they just want to stay so stuck in their ways. And it's like, yes, it's important to think about mission drift and stay focused, but at the same time, to respond to the changing needs of the community is so important. That's our purpose.
That's the goal.
Is to what is needed. And so how can we relieve that?
That's impressive.
I should say that we are also part of our mission. We staying close to our roots. We are still tapped into like all of the local emergency management organizations in Sonoma County and COAD and everything. We are actually contracted as one of the primary meal providers in case of disaster.
Yeah.
So we very much stay in touch with that because we are ready to just mobilize and put everything on hold.
Amazing.
If we need to do that again.
Yeah, really serving
Let's hope we
the
don't.
need.
Yeah.
Let's hope we don't. Yeah, really, that's incredible. So, what part of your role really energizes you the most right now?
Can you tell?
A lot of parts.
Everything. Yeah. Oh my gosh, that's a great question. I mean, I think just that nature of how we are always willing to, you know, it's just always something new, man.
You adapt. It sounds like you really adapt to like, you know.
It's so energizing for me. I love change.
Yeah.
And the fact that we just acquired this new organization and we're like figuring out how can we make this better, you know. We're going to be upgrading the kitchen soon and launching more programs over there. We'll be launching a what's it called? A incubation program, small business incubation, small food business incubation program.
Interesting.
Sonoma.
Okay.
And then we, I think just like, also, I've been enjoying writing lately, like writing our newsletters. Sign up to our email newsletter, everyone.
Oh, yeah. Where can they sign up?
That's the best way.
No, that's a great question. On the website?
Yes,
can they sign
on our
up?
website.
Your website's beautiful.
Oh, thank you.
Really beautiful.
Thank you.
Yeah.
It's been a work in progress. It's just Squarespace, you know, but
Oh
it makes
my gosh,
it easy
really?
for us to just manage on our own.
Update. Yeah. No, it looks beautiful. I'll put a link in the show notes to it as well so people can sign up for the newsletter on there. Great.
We're also working on a new event right now. We're working on a new fundraising event.
That's amazing.
Yeah, specifically fundraising for the Unity Kitchen that we just acquired in Sonoma. So that's exciting. And so it's like every year there's something new. And that in and of itself energizes me. And working with the teens now, even though I don't get to work with them all the time directly, working with them is really, you know, that's a new part of our program. So it's wonderful seeing that we're helping younger people too. And I could just go on and on. I mean,
So you're made for this role.
I love, thank you. Yeah, that's how I felt when I was first hired. I was like, it's so dynamic.
Yes,
and the food truck, obviously, very exciting.
Oh, yeah, so we got to talk about that.
Learning so much as we go. And also seeing our students, you know what's really energizing is seeing our students come and be hired and work in our catering business and in the food truck, like knowing that the student that's or our alumni now that is managing the food truck was literally a student in our program last year or the year before that. That was her dream, was to manage a food truck and to have her own food truck. And now she gets to live that dream.
Wow.
So just talking to our students. I've been doing interviews with our students lately to help with our communications. And it's just been so inspiring talking to them and hearing that not only does it, and this has been a common theme amongst them, is that they are not just coming here to learn how to cook. Well, that's what they think they're coming for. But then what they actually take away is like they all have told me that they feel so much more confident afterwards. Like it's just helped them on such a deeper level to just feel empowered and confident. And that alone is super energizing.
Yes. Let's talk more about the food truck. So Sabor Food Truck. Yes. I've seen it all around, but mostly like over by Target.
Yep, right across from Elroy's.
Yeah, it's
big
right
competition.
It's on.
No, we're not competing. We love them. They're our friends, and we actually don't have any Latin food on the menu right now.
Perfect. So you're not really competing.
It's a globally inspired menu. So maybe one day we'll bring it. We do have a lot of great Latin recipes from our students.
Great.
We take a lot of inspiration from the students and really try to connect the public through our menu, through our social enterprise menus. We try to connect the public back to the students and the beneficiaries of the program and kind of the heart and soul of the organization. So a lot of the menus that come through on our catering, our cooking classes even, and our food truck, et cetera, are all globally inspired, and the students have inspired many of those recipes.
That's amazing.
Some of you guys might have even heard of our Sabor pop-up lunch. So that's kind of what the food truck sprouted from.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so this is like a little pop-up lunch cafe. That's how I like to say it. In our Petaluma kitchen. Okay. And it goes along with each cohort that we do. So we do about 3 training cohorts a year for adults at our Petaluma kitchen.
That's a lot.
At the end, and it just is only increasing,
Yeah.
And so at the end of each cohort, we put the students on the line, so they get experience working on the line, and they also get to design the menu. So each student submits a recipe, and then we work with them to kind of perfect that recipe, and then that goes on the menu for the Sabor pop-up lunch.
Wow.
Yeah, and so we were like, okay, how can, let's take this on the road. A lot of the other Catalyst Kitchens organizations do food trucks.
Wow.
Because you can, it's a live training ground for students, and another way to just get your mission out there in the community, raise awareness, and of course, feed and serve the community with our delicious food. It's really good.
That's incredible.
Have you been there yet?
No. Okay. I need to stop by. I just drive past it and I go, that looks good.
I'm glad that looks good from the
smells
road.
Good.
Yeah.
So the staff operating the food truck and preparing the meal, are they current students?
Yes.
And then
they were students.
They were students, so they're alumni. And then people purchase the food, and then the money goes into the program.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay,
so of course, some money goes to the food costs too.
Totally.
And the labor costs. So let's
to pay the alumni. Absolutely.
Yeah, exactly. So, but yes, any profit from any of our businesses go back into the programs.
That's brilliant.
To continue funding, tuition-free culinary training. And that was one of the things I was going to say earlier was, who do we serve? Of course, also many of the students coming to our program are people that otherwise, they have employer barriers to employment. So that could mean various things. Barriers to employment could be anything from transportation to language barriers to immigration status to et cetera, but also barriers to accessing education, right? So some people are of course culinary school. Exactly. And that's such a big need. And I think we're one of the only tuition-free culinary programs in the county.
That's incredible.
Although I did hear recently that for teens in high schools, there's a lot, Sonoma County has apparently the highest amount of culinary programs.
Cara that's recording our kids' high school has an incredible
cool.
culinary program.
That's great to hear.
Yeah, so it's amazing. Glad. Yeah, well, it's so needed in Sonoma County. So
exactly. And
amazing.
We're such a culinary rich area. But so that's many people who just love cooking but can't pay for traditional school.
Absolutely. Wow, that's incredible. How do you hope people feel when they come grab a meal from Sabor?
Going back to what I was saying a moment ago, I just hope that they do feel the connection to our students and to the people that are preparing these meals and the people that are inspiring these meals and the whole reason behind that meal and the work and the food truck. Just that connection I think is so important, and just, the fact, hopefully they feel even better knowing that their meal is meaningful and it's going to something good and it's supporting local. I mean, like I said too, we work with a lot of local farms, so we get donations from Feed Cooperative. We worked with Petaluma Bounty, KM Mushrooms, Winter Farms, so many local farms also to reduce waste and divert food waste from the landfill. So we even have received grants from Zero Waste and to be able to rescue from local restaurants and cafes. In Sonoma, we work primarily with Extra Food, which brings food from grocery stores to our kitchen almost every day. And so just also knowing that, by eating with us, not only is your money supporting something going back into the local economy and supporting something beneficial, but also you're helping to reduce waste. Yeah, which is such a gap that it needs to be filled too, because 1 in 5 people are still experiencing food insecurity in Sonoma County, as many as. And also, I think there's somewhere over 2 billion. I think that's numbers, right? Please fact check me on that. But million or billion pounds of food annually that go to waste. I think in California alone. It's on our website, but so it's there's a gap there. You know.
Yep. Yeah. Oh my gosh, that's amazing. Can you tell us a little bit more about catering with cause too?
Yes. So catering, another one of our many social enterprises, and this is basically it's a catering company.
That's so
you can
crazy.
order, pick up, delivery. We can come out and do a full service event for you. We staff our students for that, of course, as much as we can. So what's really cool is that we've also started incorporating front of house training. So now we're also, not only can we hire students back of house, but also we can hire them front of house for catering gigs. And we have catered already for lots of local organizations and companies. I think and private events as well.
Yeah.
We love working with other nonprofits, and I think we
that.
still do have some of the most affordable rates in Sonoma County.
Incredible.
We give a 10% discount to nonprofits, and we have, the globally inspired menu. We also have like a more kind of Sonoma County farm to table abundance style focused menu. And we've catered galas, personal celebrations, and it's been a lot of fun, and it's wonderful, and we're growing, and we want to cater your event.
Yeah, that's a whole different animal.
Us.
That's so impressive.
Yeah.
Wow.
What more can I say? I mean, it's the same. It's like your meal is meaningful. And I think especially if you're like a mission aligned organization, that's where we find a lot of other nonprofits coming to us that, they're like, they're a nonprofit. Like, so it's like, we also want to support the community however we can with our dollar bills, and also any companies that want to have like a more, that want to give back and do something good for the community.
That's a great point too. Company events. Yeah, like corporate events. That's amazing. What have been some of the biggest surprises or lessons in running a mission-driven business, or really truly a few mission-driven businesses?
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Just the need to just being able to pivot, and also remembering that it always comes down to the mission. I mean, these aren't even really surprises. Like, I don't feel like it's not really a surprise, but just, I think that's like what's the most important is like always remembering that who we're serving at the end of the day, and making all of the decisions kind of in line with that.
The ultimate goal.
Yeah. We do, we have, and we're always learning. It's that's probably the biggest surprise is we just learn so much every day, all the time. And we just try to adapt to that to continue to make our businesses better and more service oriented. We also do like contract meals behind the scenes. So we work with like home health agencies and like local school. Like we work with, do contract meals for like school lunches and stuff like that.
That's incredible.
Our executive chef has done like school food trainings with like, with the lunch ladies.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Teach them kind of how to, create more healthy, well-rounded meals for the students. And we also rent out our commercial kitchen after hours and on the weekends to small food entrepreneurs. So I can't say, this is really my first time like in the business realm. So I can't say like, I don't have much experience, I guess, with like what could possibly surprise me. But it's been definitely a wild ride.
This is amazing. Also, adding in that like piece about renting out the kitchen. There's so many, like layers to all of this. It's again very impressive.
Layers. When I first started, it's like it kind of took me a year, I feel like, to grasp my head around the whole thing.
Mine is
like
spinning
the structure.
Right now.
How does this all come together?
That's incredible.
So that's when I kind of thought about like the tree.
I love that.
Structure
and all the different branches.
Yeah, exactly. Many different branches, and just trying to figure out how they all work together. It is the biggest like challenge has kind of been really back of house in the kitchen, like staffing, and just scheduling and trying to, with a nonprofit, with limited finances and limited budget, and trying to be able to, make all of these different pieces work together. That's definitely been the biggest challenge. So we're always, looking for more like delivery driver volunteers.
That's good to know.
If people are open to that. We take a lot of volunteers at the Sonoma Kitchen, not so much at the Petaluma Kitchen, because we have our cohorts and we have our our students most of the time in there, and we're a packed house when the cohorts are happening. But in between cohorts, we do have volunteers in the kitchen as well. But yeah, just we need to grow. So, we need to grow. We need to hire. We always need to hire more kitchen staff. But that makes sense. As a nonprofit, it's always like just trying to build the capacity to be able to grow, but trying to grow to be able to, build on what you're doing. So
what comes first?
Yeah, exactly. It's like the chicken and the egg. It's always this dance with nonprofit life. So just the more like support and funding we can get, the better.
That's incredible. Yeah. So what impact has Sabor and Catering with a Cause had, not just financially, but on the organization, for the organization as a whole?
Yeah, Sabor, especially the food truck. I mean, obviously, like, you saw us.
Totally.
Sabor,
it's advertising.
Exactly. So that's like definitely the biggest impact so far, is just like drawing more people in, raising awareness in the community, because we started off, in Santa Rosa, and then we got this Petaluma kitchen. And so now it's like we're a Petaluma based organization, but I still feel like, and there's been a lot of media, I think, over the years, because we were such a frontline organization in the fires, but I think there's still, we're so young. There's still many people who don't know about us. And especially in Petaluma, I think we're still kind of building like a base of support and donors. And so putting our tentacles out in Petaluma more and across the county, because the Sabor Food Truck can travel. Very we could do your catering event with our truck, as well as if you'd rather have food truck catering. So I think just like that. And, of course, with time, as we get things ironed out with it, it's such a learning process with a food truck.
Sure. Yeah.
It's been, such a fun journey. Oh my gosh. Always something.
Said with a laugh.
Yeah, exactly. But, being able to hire more students on there and use that for more training ground and more work experience for them too. So we've already had 3 different students working on it.
Wow.
But that'll, continue to shift, and more people will be able to get experience on it as well.
That's incredible. So. Wow. Where do you see everything Sonoma Family Meal, all it encompasses, going in the next few years?
Well, that's just seeing the last few years that I've been here and where we've gone.
It's a little unpredictable, I think, at this point. Sky's the limit.
Yeah, exactly. Sky is really the limit.
Yeah.
But definitely, I think we have honed in. Like, we really, obviously, we invested in this food truck. We definitely want to see that grow. We want to see it become a staple in the county, and something that's at every community event. And we would love to see our catering business grow. We'd love to see just more people knowing about Sonoma Family Meal, and our donor base increasing, and across the county, now that we have the kitchen in Sonoma, just to continue to make Sonoma Family Meal a well-known organization in Sonoma County, and a well-loved organization. And I'm trying to think if there's like any other, I think just honing in our, we've added so many different new things in the last few years. I think it's more just about like refining and really growing those things that we've invested in. And I feel like, we realized, okay, catering is a great business to be in. And the food truck is a great thing as well. So focusing our efforts now.
I love that. Yeah, the ideas have all kind of like come to fruition, and now focusing, refining, growing, making them even more profitable.
Yes, exactly.
That's amazing. If someone listening wants to support but doesn't know where to start, what's something impactful they can do?
Definitely, like I said earlier, go to our website and sign up for our newsletter list.
Yeah.
And just keep yourself updated about everything that we're doing. And come to one of our cooking classes, or come support the food truck, come grab lunch. I know the food truck it's only there at the Petaluma Fairgrounds on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursdays from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. So it's just like middle of the day. Today. Middle of the day, middle of the week, lunchtime, but through our Instagram. So you can also follow us on Instagram at Sabor_food_truck. And then, of course, at Sonoma Family Meal for Sonoma Family Meals Instagram, but we are trying to post on the Sabor Food Truck Instagram every time we're at like a community event. So coming out, grabbing a bite to eat, just take that first little step of engaging with our organization.
There you go.
Yeah. And then we just need your support. And whether it's coming to a cooking class or going to the food truck or hiring us for one of your events, just get yourself into the fold, come learn about what we do. I'm sure you'll be super inspired. And we want to continue also growing our tuition-free culinary training. So I know you asked about like, where do we see ourselves in 5 years? We just hired another culinary instructor, chef instructor. So we might even need to hire another one this year or next year. Yeah. So we're continuing to do more trainings across Sonoma and Petaluma. Great. So as now that we have that second kitchen and we're like doubled in size, and once we renovate that kitchen, we are planning to do all the same things out of there: cooking classes, catering, and more training programs. Great. So we want to grow those. We want to be training more people, more teens, more adults, and just putting on more trainings in general. And it's hard because it's like, as a nonprofit, of course, you don't want to grow because we don't want to we don't want to have the need to serve more people. We don't want more people to be experiencing food insecurity, Yes. Yeah, it's like, I heard that once from another.
That is a great point.
Yeah. As a nonprofit, you don't want to have to exist in perpetuity. That's like not the point, No. But at the same time, we want to grow our businesses to be able to continue filling that gap because there's unfortunately always going to be that gap in the community and in society. And so we are there to fill it and to respond.
That's incredible. Is there anything else I may have missed that you'd like listeners to know?
I don't know. We covered so much. It's always a lot when it comes to Sonoma Family Meal. I'm sure there's things I've forgotten, but the biggest thing is just don't be afraid to reach out. Go check out our website. If I did forget something, it's going to be on there, I hope, if I've done a good job at maintaining it. Still always more work to do.
Yeah. Well, again, it's always evolving. So
yeah.
Which is amazing.
I appreciate you guys for giving us this platform, this opportunity, and platforming organizations, doing this kind of work and nonprofits in the community.
Yeah, so happy to have you on. I'll put links to everything in the show notes. And again, as you were talking, I'm realizing like that food truck serves more than just feeding people in a business. It's really kind of a visual representation of everything that you're doing and getting the word out. Yeah, that's incredible. Yeah. Great idea.
Yes. So. It's delicious too. Definitely go get your lunch there today.
Definitely going to have to get lunch there. Now I'm hungry. Yes. Thank you so much for coming on today. It was so great to meet you.
Thank you so much. Great to meet you too. And everyone listening, again, reach out if you have any further questions. I'm happy to. I love talking and giving tours and meeting people. So
tours, that's a great idea.
Yeah. See our kitchen.
Oh, it's amazing. Thank you so much for listening.
Thank you.
If you like what you hear, please be sure to like and subscribe. Learn more about Sonoma County and all that we have to offer here.